Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great weekend. I'm just going to post this video to talk a little bit about the frames assignment that's in the Module 5 topic, the learning expectations and the frames. So I was just asked to post a little video going over this assignment. So basically, this assignment is asking for you to summarize 3 or 4 main points for teaching and learning within each of the 4 frames. You might want to tackle that as something that you haven't covered yet in your kindergarten classroom if you're currently teaching in kindergarten, and what would you like to look at next to cover within those 4 frames. And if you're not in a kindergarten classroom right now, maybe you could look at it from a mindset of, well, if I'm looking at the beginning of the year and I'm looking at these 4 frames, what are some key expectations or ideas that are within there that I want to highlight and investigate in order to get some learning out of that. And so in order to support those 4 main points for teaching and learning within each frame, you have to identify the expectations or groups of expectations that you would like to focus on that support that teaching and learning within those frames. And then share a plan, and again, like it said in there, not a long-range plan, but just a plan mapping out how would you support the expectations and the concepts that you highlighted within each of the 4 frames that you find really important. So what are maybe some provocations you might plan to have? What are some of the materials in the classroom that you might put into the environment that's going to encourage some of the expectations or learning that you want to investigate within those frames? What are some of the texts that you're going to introduce? What are the shared readings that could help support this learning and digging deeper in there? Because if we remember, we're putting intentional materials into our classroom that are going to help support children's learning towards the big ideas that we would like to investigate. But that being said, I mean, a plan is a plan. We make them, they're great to have in order for us to think about and to kind of organize our day-to-day activities, but knowing that that plan can always change based on student interest or what the students have discovered with those materials that maybe we didn't anticipate. And we've talked about that throughout the course, that that's something that we have to be open to. So I hope that kind of explains what you're looking at here. And if I were to go about doing this, I might think about setting up a table with one being, part of the table is there's a column for whichever frame I'm on, so whether it's belonging and contributing, then a column right next to it that might say the main points of teaching and learning that I want to anticipate in there. And then next to that, there would maybe be another column where there's the expectations or groups of expectations that I would like to cover within that learning. And then finally, the last column next to that might be some materials or ideas that I would help encourage that thinking. That's just a way I would interpret of possibly going about it. Thinking more about it, I might change it and you might have a better idea. But again, this is open to you, to your own interpretation, how you want to make that plan. And again, it's to be useful for your own teaching and that you could use in your practice today, or that you can use in your practice when you start teaching kindergarten at another point, that this is a resource for you to have. I hope that helps clears things up. Everyone have a great weekend, and we're moving through this course. We're now going on to Module 5. And just a reminder, I hope you're looking at that independent project and working through that as well, because that's quickly approaching also. Thank you so much. Bye now.